Welcome to a new podcast where we're breaking through and breaking it down with a new girl. Your host, Dawn Piercy. Welcome to a new podcast. My name is Dawn Piercy. I am your host. I am excited to bring you today Shea. He's an award-winning music artist, producer. He's the owner of Think Tank Music and Media, and he's the festival director of the Northern Touch Music Festival and Conference, and has been the morning show host of CIUR 104.7 FM. Shea, it's great to have you on a new podcast. How are you doing?
Hi, Dawn. I'm feeling much better now that I'm out of the rain.
Good. I know it's been quite a minute to get you on here, but we did it and we're here, so I'm excited to bring him to you. Now, tell us about the WCMA. So your audience knows a little bit, our audience knows a little bit more about that, and as well as other awards that you've won.
Sure. So more recently, I was nominated for the Urban Artist of the Year from the Western Canadian Music Awards. So the WCMAs are an award ceremony celebrating the geographic location in the western side of Canada.
Okay.
So basically, I'm in the central part of Canada, so this goes all the way over to BC. It would be kind of like we have like the Junos, which is like the Grammys, and then this would be just below, kind of like, it's more territorial than it is the entire country. Mm-hmm. So it's still, it's an amazing, it's amazing opportunity, an amazing thing that I was nominated. And I'm really, really excited for it. I've been nominated for also this year, the Indigenous Music Awards.
Nice.
Which is out here in Winnipeg every year, annually. And I was nominated for Engineer and Producer of the Year for my work on Helen Back's record. 1491.
Okay.
And basically, so up for my production and then up for my artist stuff as well.
Well, big congratulations, because that's awesome. I know that takes a lot of work and you have to be a very busy man. Now, you just released your latest single, Perrier. Did I say that right? I hope I said that right.
Yeah.
Okay,
good. For sure.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Post-War, and it was produced with Euphoria. Tell us about that, and also about the one you were featured in with Shea.
Cool, yeah. So Perrier is my most recent single. I'm part of a collective here of artists in the city called Stick City Cult. We're basically a group of artists who are who maybe sort of felt a little bit left out or a little bit different. And so we've tried to kind of band together and bring ourselves together. So there's been some interesting articles about just how progressive the group is and all that sort of thing. And Post-War is one of the rappers from the crew.
Okay.
And so the song, him and I are sober. We've been sober for a couple of years now. So we don't drink or anything. So when we go out, we actually drink sparkling water. We drink Perrier. So when we were in the studio together, we were making jokes about how like we'd have a bunch of like Perrier and different types of water and stuff. And it's kind of like a hip hop term these days to talk about like, water being like diamonds and that sort of thing. Right. So this is sparkling water. So this kind of takes us to that next point. So it's kind of, the idea was that it was kind of be flashy and to be like kind of just very different with it. And then Euphoria, I actually produced the beat originally and sent it to Euphoria over in the UK, who I've been working with a bunch. And so is Post-War. He's a really amazing producer out there. And then he basically came back with some changes that he made, and we worked on it together. And then once the song was done, we started working on the video with director Sky Spence, and basically we're just wrapping up kind of the rollout for the video, which will be coming soon. Mm-hmm. And the video concept itself was to kind of challenge masculinity in hip hop a little bit, and really for me, I haven't really told people this in like an interview publicly, but it's to kind of create some controversy and to kind of create conversations. I just know with myself coming from old traditional hip hop, There's a lot of like hypermasculinity. There's a lot of just a lot of bigotry, a lot of crap. So we're kind of like going head first into that. Post-war and I basically are in the shop getting our nails done, which is traditionally not something that a man would do, but we're getting our nails done. And in the video, I specifically wanted to find androgynous models. So we have 2 androgynous models who basically have post-war myself chained up. And the idea and the aesthetic of it was that men are typically called dogs and typically called, animals. And so the idea was to give us that animal like front, while we had our kind of true androgynous selves holding onto the chains and trying to keep it from being ridiculous, and then adding on to that the idea that just being different and being okay with being different, and that that true masculinity really comes from, in my opinion, being yourself.
Amen. Now, I gotta ask, did you get your nails painted? Or did
you I get my nails painted all the time.
What color did you get?
Which is one of those things. So you have like the old hip hop guys who are like, oh, you get your nails painted, oh, you're such a like weirdo, oh, you're such a freak, and like whatever. And it's like, it's 2019, things aren't really like that anymore. And so like, I personally, I enjoy it. I go with my partner to get our nails done. Her and I usually tend to match our nails, match our hair, match clothing. Like, it's just the way we have matching tattoos. We just are like that. So.
2 peas in a pod.
Now, yeah, but we're one
too,
pea.
Don't she?
We never even became 2 peas.
Now she sings too, don't she? Your other half.
No, she doesn't actually. She doesn't? She's not involved in music whatsoever. No, she's
What's her take on it?
She's a university student. She loves helping me out with the kind of creative aspect of everything.
Nice.
She's she's actually in the Perrier music video. She's washing my feet.
Okay, okay. That's funny.
It's quite the video. It's amazing. But there's the little like foot washing areas, and so she's one of the masked women who are in the video. So she's awesome. She's my best friend. Like there's nothing I could do without her.
Love it.
But no, she doesn't sing. She doesn't do anything like that. She's my support system. She does come on tour with me because, I mean,
I've seen her in a lot of pictures with you, and that's what I was asking, because I always see with you.
No, she's just like, we're inseparable. That's about it.
That's a good thing. I think that's everybody's goal, isn't it? So tell us where your passion for music and broadcasting started, and how did you get your start?
My start in broadcasting. So I did go to broadcasting school, thinking, maybe I should have a backup plan for music and just kind of being creative. Found that I really didn't enjoy the radio industry all that much, and that there was just a lot of, I preferred the internet. I love the platform that you're working on. I love the idea that, like you said, you don't have to even, don't have to go anywhere, and the content is great. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, It's crazy that we live in a day and age that you can create content that I will sit and watch for half an hour and you haven't even changed your pants. You know what I mean? Like, you're still in PJs, and I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, this is the greatest era of my life. I can make a movie in my pajamas, have it on the internet by this afternoon, and it could be spread around the world. Like, I love that. So for me, broadcasting just felt a little too old. I think that I'm just like, I think that I'm a little too interested in innovation and technology. So broadcasting was interesting because it had some music, it had some elements of sales in it, because I did work a little bit in the sales and advertising and that sort of thing. So that was cool. But then when it got down to it, I was just like, oh no, I don't want to be making, like, I don't want to be doing this every single day and playing the same music and not having the freedom of like whatever,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know that you've performed at several festivals yourself, including you had the 2018 European tour,
Hmm.
New School Rules in the Netherlands, MIDEM in France, and
Yeah.
Germany, and Poland, and Belgium, and of course, North American tour at the Fire Festival in Canada. Can you tell us what we can expect next?
So once the video comes out, that'll probably be the big thing for me. I'm hoping that a lot of people go and check out the video, and I'm kind of talking to Perrier right now to see if there's something that we can like work on together. And then I have another single to follow up called Goth Girls, which is all about my fascination and love for goth girls. And then I have an album which I haven't really announced officially, but I signed a record deal with Big Head on the Beat, which is a producer from the U.S. who produced Gucci Gang. He produces Lil Peep, Lil Pump, Lil Tracy, and so I'm working on a 6-song EP, which will be in the like emo rock trap rap lane. So
okay, nice. What have you learned yourself from touring? And can you share with us your favorite part about it? And what has been your favorite all-time city that you've been to?
What are some of the things that I've learned from touring? I have learned how to cook in a hotel room with no utensils. So, like, I've figured out how to make hard-boiled eggs in a coffee maker, and I've figured out how to, like, oh my goodness, I've figured out the way to get free into the gym for free everywhere you go.
Bonus perks.
Yeah, touring for me has been very different in the past 2 years. About 2 years ago, I lost 80 pounds and I quit drinking. And I became very, very health conscious and very much gym driven. So touring for me has been a very different sort of thing. I'm usually looking for the nearest gym. I'm looking for the nearest grocery store place. I'm looking for the ability to eat raw and whole foods on tour. So I would say that is probably the biggest thing I've learned, how to be healthy on the road. But I learned all the bad things as well, like when is too much to drink, when is too much of everything. So, so I learned the better lessons now later on in my life for sure.
Now you can be a good influence, right? Because
absolutely,
it's a hard, I don't want to say hard life, but very busy and time consuming. And you're scheduled and you don't get a lot of free time. That I know.
Yeah, no, and it is. And that's, unfortunately, it's made it hard to do the sightseeing portion of it. So what my favorite city would be is probably, like I've got so many. I love the Netherlands. I really love Rotterdam and I love Amsterdam. I don't think I would live in Amsterdam, but I'd live in Rotterdam for sure. And I've got Turkish friends out there. Shout out Al and everybody out there is so nice. I did really enjoy Vienna when I was out there. I'm a European person, I think. Like I really like Europe. When we were out there, my partner and I were both Spanish, and we never really had any interest in Europe in the sense of like what, you know how some people are like, you know, born Scottish and they're like, I gotta go to Scotland before, like I gotta go back to the motherland type of thing. So it was never really like that. And then when we went, we were like this. I love everything about it. It's so classy and it's so like old and so much culture. Like it's so interesting. So I think generally Europe has been my most attractive. Like if we were gonna move, we'd either move to a farm or we'd move to somewhere in Europe right now.
How much is a tour to Europe? I'm asking for myself because I want to go one day.
You know what? It's actually kind of funny. Like the touring Europe, the first time I did it, because when you're breaking new market, you're obviously not making any money. So you're going to spend money to be out there. So the first year that I went out there, it was a lot of how to save money. You know what's funny is that when you travel with a group of 4 people out there, it becomes super cheap.
Really?
It's actually more expensive when you have like 1 or 2 people,
Mm-hmm.
or you have like 20 people. But that perfect amount of 4 or 6 that can sleep in one of the that basically can stay in a hostel in
Mm-hmm.
one room, because usually it's bunk beds or whatever. And if you're cool with that, it ends up being like $20 a bed. So I mean,
That's not
like
bad.
20, yeah. So like you'll get a room with a bathroom, and yeah, you're with 4 of your friends, but I mean, it's not terrible. Like, I mean, it's definitely worse places that I've stayed. So it's actually not as like crazy. When you start getting into hotel rooms, that's ridiculous. Like I went to Luxembourg one time,
Mm-hmm.
and Luxembourg is like this little, like, I don't even know, like a state that's below Belgium that literally is just a city of banks. And it's like, so like, it's one of the places where everybody put their money during the war. And so it's extremely expensive. And we got caught there with no Airbnb and no no hostel to stay at. And so we were like, okay, well, we got to stay somewhere. Last thing is go check the hotels.
Right.
$1,200 a night Canadian.
What?
Yeah.
That's
not only
insane.
that, but the coffee machine was literally a like, you could boil the water and it was instant coffee packs. Like, it wasn't like you're thinking like $1,200 you'd get like a nice like espresso machine in there. Nah, B, that is not what they are.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, I will keep that in mind. Absolutely.
Do not go to Luxembourg.
Tell us about Think Tank Music and Media, and also about being the festival director at the Northern Touch Music Festival and Conference.
Well, music is like anything else. You wear a ton of hats. I'm a producer. I'm a songwriter. I'm helping manage people's careers, project management here and there, managing my own career. You do everything. And so Think Tank Music and Media was actually, when I was working in advertising, which I did quite a bit, I kind of needed a storefront that didn't seem as music oriented. It was a little bit more corporate.
Right.
So Think Tank was kind of my corporate sort of response to that. But what I realized over the years was that it was becoming too separate. So the business that I was doing with advertising didn't know that I was working with these independent artists, and the independent artists that I knew didn't know that I was working with these big businesses. Mm-hmm. So a few years back, there was a group that I was working with called Moody Times 2, these 2 sisters, and I was working on their album. It was a folk album at the time, like a pop folk album. Mm-hmm. These 2 Indigenous women, and I ended up placing their song in a Dove commercial that I was working on. So I was like, man, I have to bridge these 2 worlds here. Like, you know what I mean? I've got all this independent music. I've got all this advertisements that I'm working on and all that sort of thing, and radio and all that. So I was like, okay, you know what I've realized is that most businesses are trying to stand out and be unique and act like a rock star. And most rock stars have a real problem with their business. So I recognized that that's kind of what Think Tank Media was. So I was helping artists write grants and get their business stuff figured out. Okay. And then on the business end of things, I was connecting them with really cool people, connecting them with really cool music, connecting them with independent artists. You know, when Dove is like, hey, do you know any artists who are like, you know, female that'd be great for this video? Here's the video we're doing. I'm like, yeah, I'm working with 2 sisters who are recently single moms. Like, I'm like, this is exactly the music you need for this. So it was like, it's just perfect little synergies like that is where Think Tank came from. And then later on in life, a few years down the road, I was traveling and doing all these festivals, and I was like, why isn't there a festival like this in Canada? These showcase festivals. So I basically started the Showcase Festival because I'm that guy who's obviously doesn't have enough to do with his life, and was like, you know what, I'm going to create a festival. I'm going to create a place for people to go perform, showcase, get business done, and really be there for the community. And it started out with 30 bands, and now we're at 90 bands and like 1,000 people.
Wow.
The conference has about, I think this year we had about 70 people, 80 people in the conferences. So it's getting up to almost 100 people at the education stuff, and then after parties. And we do 3 days of music. It's downtown Winnipeg, outdoor stage. Okay. We had the mayor come visit again this year. So skyrocketed into something big. So
That's awesome. Now, where can our audience stream and purchase your music and follow you on social media to keep up with what you got going on?
I am at Music by Shea pretty much everywhere. SHEA, Music by Shea. Check out Spotify, SHEA. You can, I believe that it is on my Instagram as well, which is Music by Shea. There's a link there, a link tree or a smart URL where you can find pretty much access to everything, YouTube and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Hit me up online. I respond to pretty much every DM that I can. I'm very personable and really like to talk to people and connect with people. So that's a big thing for me. iTunes, Spotify is the one that I use the most right now, but SoundCloud, YouTube, pretty much anywhere you consume music. And if you cannot find it on any of those platforms, email me directly and I will send it to you.
Now, for our audience, go to our platform on anewpodcast.com, click Shea's feature photo, and it will take you to his bio page. I've provided all the links there for you. You can stream his music as well as check out his latest music video too. Now, Shea, if you had one thing that you'd want to say to the world, what would it be?
If I had one thing to say to the world, what would it be? Eat your vegetables.
Okay, that got me. That's too funny. Eat your vegetables. Well, I want to thank you for being a new guest. It's been great having you on. You're hilarious. Be sure to follow Shea. And if you like this episode, be sure to click like, share so other people can enjoy it. Subscribe to keep up with all the new guests and everything we have going on anewpodcast.com. And if you feel fit to buy me a cup of coffee once a month for bringing you these episodes, you can do so on our Anchor.fm platform under A New Podcast. Until next time, this is Dawn Piercy and Shea signing off. Keep it real.
Ciao.
Bye.